Good afternoon. What's up and what is popping, everybody? Welcome to the Casual Podcast with your boy Brian, the Casual Brian. Casual Podcast is brought to you by the Casual Brand. This is the number one place for all the Casual Brand pages where we talk about casual brand issues. It's going to be the first time that we're going to do this. We're coming to you live, I think, for the first time from the Casual Brand, the Casual Jazzers Facebook page, but we're also coming from my personal page, Casual Brands page, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I'm going to drop the handles to where you can follow us on all these pages. Let me get out of here. Making these adjustments. Coming to you at a weird time today because I'm still getting over, as you can hear in my voice, I'm still getting over being sick. But let me tell you something. I guess 2:30 is not the time, or 2:25 is not the time to do it because there's a weird, funky thing with the sunlight. Hopefully it seems like it's getting better. But let me go ahead and drop those handles for you. Um, and these are just all the places that you can follow us. It's first the Casual Brand pages, and then secondly, it's my personal pages. So drop those here. Boom. And then we're going to share it. Hopefully, we're going to share it. Show. So these are all the places that you can find us. I guess I should take Casual Brand pages out and personal pages. That can be a little bit confusing, but Casual Jazzer, follow us there at the casual underscore at no, I'm sorry, at the underscore casual underscore jazzer. Um, yeah, that is very confusing. But those are the places where you can find us. I'm going to clean that up for tomorrow. We're working. We're working. I am super excited though. I'm going to leave that up for just a little bit longer. I'm very excited because um, I've had a couple more people reach out about being a guest on the podcast, and that's what it's all about. That's what we're moving towards. That's what we're working towards. We're building towards just being a place where people can come and have conversation around the casual brand topics. So casual brand topics are jazz, music production in a more general sense. And even with the jazz, there was more musicians and jazz, grappling, MMA, boxing, but more of the grappling mindset, so jujitsu, wrestling, these type of things. And, and then of course for me, I'm always into what it is that's happening currently. Whatever that means to you. For me, it tends to be more political, but it doesn't always have to be political. Um, so yeah, I'm just very excited. Some very cool guests that I've made. I made connections through Instagram, through the Jazzer, through my personal Instagram. So let me know, and also let me know in the comment section, what is it that you would like us to talk about, or like me to talk about? What kind of people would you like to see on the podcast? What kind of subjects would you like me to discuss? And yeah, we're going to make it happen. So first off, what do we want? What do I want to start with? Well, let me first start by saying this. It's day 3, I guess. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Day 3 of being sick. Definitely feeling much better. I felt the worst on Tuesday, better on Wednesday, and Thursday today. It's been the best. It's been the best day. I'm not taking any medicine right now, and I feel fine. Slightly achy, but I haven't really been eating, and I've mostly been resting and drinking lots of fluids. So I feel okay. I don't feel great. I don't feel like I can go out and exercise. I mean, I feel like I could push myself to exercise, but I wouldn't feel good doing it. So I'm still gonna take it easy. There's some things I have to do, some errands I have to run, but I'm feeling better. I still don't think it's COVID. I tested myself once. I'm gonna get another test probably today because I need to know. Supposed to go in for my annual, and that sucks because um, I don't know how that's going to affect my numbers or whatever, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is. It just is what it is. I would have loved to come. I would have loved to do my annuals coming off of a week of exercise and feeling healthy and strong and clean eating. It is what it is. I'm sure it shouldn't take my numbers off too far. Also, I've been taking all this cough medicine, or I don't know, not cough medicine, but Dayquil and stuff. Anyway, so I'm feeling better. Hoping it's not COVID. I mean, it's kind of funny because like the people that I've talked to who got Omicron, they're like they had it, and and by the time they found out, because of the testing backup, um, they were almost at the end of their quarantine. So it's kind of like I feel the same way. Like if I test now, I tested negative on Tuesday. If I test positive, it's like, well, I'm probably going to be fine. Like I mean, I feel fine already. My nose is but backed up, but whatever. Anyway, I miss the days where you could just be sick. You know what I mean? Like you get a cold or whatever, and it was just like, oh, I have a cold, or even if you had the flu, you were like, oh, I got the flu. But man, like with COVID, it's always just kind of like, it's a waiting game, as they say in Step Brothers. That's one of my favorite references that a lot of people don't catch. After the bunk beds fall down, and he's like, "Are you going to be all right?" After with the little scratch on his arm, he's like, "I don't know. It's a waiting game." Oh man. So anyway, yeah. So Casual Jazzer is popping off again. Very thankful for that. Something that people don't realize is like um, keeping momentum going on in social media especially on Instagram, is a very difficult thing. And the problem with me is I'm a little bit proud, and I'm a little the artist in me sometimes gets in the way of the businessman in me, because I want to do it my way and I want to do it on my own. I mean, it's a theme page. I'm not making the content. Although I have some original content that I want to. I don't know why I don't pull the trigger on it. Even for me to put the Jazzer in on this today was a big deal. But a lot of people steal. A lot of people steal. I'm not gonna say any of the pages that do, but a lot of people steal. And a lot of people get away with stuff. And I'm just like, man, how do they get away with this? So it's exciting for me to see the Jazzer picking back up. I've been having. I like to also have good relationships with people that I'm like sharing their stuff, because I genuinely think that it's a win-win for both of us. I'm building a platform, and I'm giving them exposure, and in exchange for them letting me use their content. Sometimes I've only had one person ever tell me not to use their content, and it wasn't really that they didn't want me to use their content. They were just upset that I didn't tag them, which made me frustrated, because in the post, I said, I can't find out who the guitar player is in this video. If anybody knows, please let me know. So he DMs me and he's like very accusatory, and he's like, very upset. And I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry. I wrote, if anyone knows who this is, I'm very happy to add it, your name now. It's no big deal. He was like, no, it was lazy of you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, say less. I'll take it down. I took it down. No, I said, I let him know. I said, man, I'm sorry. Wasn't trying to offend. And I don't think he really wanted me to take it down. And so he was still kind of upset. I was like, I don't know what to say, man. I took it down. And, and then I had another person once who said something, I think it was about like the timing. Because some people, when they post something, they want me to put it up immediately, which I mean, I almost never do. And then some people, they want to have 24 hours because they feel like it'll pull from their views, which I don't believe in. I think you want as much traction as you can, especially if people are tagging you. But I don't care. I To avoid that, I generally give at least a day before I post somebody's post, unless they like DM me and ask me, Brian, post this right now. So anyway, it's just I think it's a good. I think it's I have a good rapport with most jazz people. You know, it's so funny, man. When you do stuff, you have all these ideas and you want to do all these things, and it's just like you don't hit and execute on some of the things, and you start getting discouraged and whatever. It's so easy to just want to give up on certain things. I remember when the Jazzer two times has hit like a wall, and I thought, you know what, it was cool. I'm happy that I got where I got, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's too niche. But the Jazzer is at the heart of the casual brand is the casual Jazzer, and that's because the heart of me is jazz. I love jazz. I think I think of life in the perspective of jazz. You build skills, you build vocabulary, you build um, relationships, and then you throw it all together on stage. That's what life is to me. That's what jazz is to me. You know, you shouldn't be playing exactly what you practice, because when you're practicing it, it's against nothing. It's against just a metronome. It's against time. It's against whatever. But when people in, include their input, that input should be considered. You know, that's one of my biggest critiques of a lot of young jazz players, is that they don't consider the input being shared from other artists, and so they just play as if it was just them in a practice room by themselves, regardless of what is being given to them, the space that's being given, the lack of space that's being given. You know, there's no give and take, there's no push and pull. So the jazz becomes predictable and stale and flat, and only really appealing to those who can appreciate what it took to execute that line. You know, I really do believe that there's nothing wrong with jazz not being accessible to everybody. You know, it's but at the same time, it's a real interesting question, you know, because I do agree 100% with Seth Godin's uh idea. Don't try to be something for everyone, because then you'll be nothing for anyone. But I just wonder. I wonder about jazz. I wonder what jazz really wants. Does it want to be? It's the same thing I feel with jujitsu, right? And if you don't know about jujitsu, I apologize. I highly recommend you look it up, and maybe even get into it. I think everyone should do jujitsu. It's the best thing ever. But jujitsu is very niche, especially in the gi. And if jujitsu insisted on staying the way it is and in the gi, so like I love I can watch grappling matches, but I prefer no gi grappling matches, because there's a little more dynamic, um, explosiveness, excitement. Now, that's not to say that there are not very exciting gi matches, and especially if you know what's happening, they can be very exciting. But for the average person, they're not going to get a jujitsu match in the gi, and that's what I wonder about jazz. You know, it's like it's just everything. You know, sometimes you have to kind of decide, and the unfortunate truth is that if you go the art route, if you go the gi route, if you go the jazz route, people might not get it. And if they don't get it, they're not going to want it. You know, you know what I'm saying? I don't. I sometimes I feel like jazz artists have a little bit of resentment for people not getting it and then not wanting it. If they don't get it, why would they want it? You know, people who get Apple want Apple products. If they don't get Apple, they're not going to want Apple. They're not going to understand why I'm paying more money for something that I can get similar for half of the price. I'm live on multiple platforms. I'm using not an app, a website called StreamYard. So I'm live Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So yeah, I try to keep it. I wish I could go live on Instagram too, but for some reason, even though Instagram is hooked up with Facebook, they won't let me. So yeah, but I'm definitely live on Twitch. I get a lot of response on Twitch, although I don't get a lot of followers. So please, if you're listening, please follow. I would appreciate your follow, because that's why we're doing it. Also, if you're listening on the podcast, please be sure to subscribe. So yeah, man, taking it all the way back. Um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to. I got a couple of jazz people coming on. Hopefully, I'll have a lot more jazz people, because I know so many jazz cats, and we can talk about it. We can get into it. I mean, because there's some people some of my friends have kind of done more a accessible form of the music and have made a great living, and some of my friends have kind of pursued a more artistic form of the music. And I don't think one is better or worse than the other, and they both make a really good living. Um, so it's interesting, and I experience it on the Casual Jazzer too. Sometimes when I'll post something, I used to get all the time. People would tell me, "This is not jazz. This is not jazz," And then you go to their page and they're not dealing with any kind of music. And when I say dealing with any kind of music, I mean they're not playing really well. They're not really great players. And I feel like, why are you focusing on what is and isn't jazz when you haven't really learned or achieved any kind of level of mastery? Why don't you look and see if there's anything you can learn from this or be inspired by or entertain? Because that's the point of social media, is to educate, motivate, or entertain. Period. Educate, motivate, or entertain. If you're not doing either of those, you're going to have a page that doesn't have anyone following. So I want there to be more. The primary goal for Casual Jazzer is entertainment. I want it to be. I was on YouTube and I was searching and I was going down this rabbit hole of jazz videos. And I thought, man, it'd be cool if there was something like this on Instagram. Something where I felt like I could just go from video to video to video to video in one place. I wanted to simulate, I literally wanted to simulate or emulate the YouTube algorithm. That is the whole idea of the Casual Jazzer. If making a feed that felt like the YouTube algorithm was feeding you great music, great video jazz content. And yeah, so to have people coming over but it doesn't bother me at all. No, there's no comments bother me. I'm at a place now too where I can't even really respond to all the comments. I don't really respond to any comments. I need to do better about that. It's just difficult. I have a huge platform, and the last 2 years I've been really focused in on TikTok, which has allowed me to get 70,000, 72, 73,000 personal followers, which is it's important, but right now I'm leaning into Instagram. I think Instagram is the place to be if you're looking to grow on social. I think Instagram right now is the place to be. It has the best organic. And I think as musicians, we need to start embracing and embracing with an understanding and intentionality what we're doing online. Online is the space. You can't just leave it to festivals, records, and jazz clubs. I'm not saying that those are dead. I'm not saying that don't do those. I'm saying that you need to have an online presence so you can have more control of your intellectual property, of your work, of your art. If you don't, you're going to be at the whim, at the mercy of all these people that are in control of your stuff as NFTs come around, which are very exciting for music. And I know a lot of people don't really understand NFTs. It's hard to understand it because it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. But the easiest way to think about NFTs is it's simply saying that I'm offering this up as a means for value. So a painting has no intrinsic value by itself, but someone could say that's a beautiful piece of work. I'll pay you $100 for it. Boom. Now it has value. Until someone says I'll pay $100, they can ask for $100, but until someone says I'll pay for it for $100, it has no value. And it's the same with music. It's the same with music. You can make an album, offer it or mint it as an NFT, and say it's worth $1,000. And if no one pays it, then it's not. It's just something you did. But if someone pays it, and the craziest thing is I had this idea a long time ago. I offered on Craigslist the idea that you can get your own personal theme song or a song for a wedding or a song for a romantic thing. No one bought it. But it's an idea. So I totally get NFTs. I totally get the idea of if there's an epic concert at Coachella, having that ticket, that digital ticket be valuable. Just like old records are valuable by certain artists. So anyway, people just need to get more in tune. I mean, this landscape in Instagram, social media, it's becoming more apparent to the people that do have money that are making moves. And you want to get some of it, man. People are making big time livings off of their followers because it's attention. It's always about attention. That's why the NFL is what the NFL is. That's why the popular shows are what they are. Where is the attention? Where are people looking? And the more attention you can get, the better it is going to be for you. But you need to understand how you can monetize it, because someone's going to come at you and say, here's $5,000. We want to do a deal with you. And you're like, yes, $5,000. Geez, that's great. In reality, you're giving them 20, 30, $50,000 worth of value. But if you don't know, you don't know. So anyway, uh, stay tuned. I'm very excited, and if you are interested in being on the podcast, please reach out. I'm going to drop these confusing. I'm going to drop these confusing tags again. I'll clean them up for tomorrow. But you can follow me and you can contact me at any one of these places. We're here Monday through Friday. I've been sick, so I took off Tuesday. I took off Tuesday, and but I'm normally on live in the morning and drop the podcast in the afternoon. Didn't get to launch on Instagram. I know I'm really disappointed, but I got sick, and so I got to deal with it. But next week, we're going to hopefully be launching the podcast on Instagram, and you should be able to see that on the Casual Brand page and on my personal page. So until tomorrow, have a great day, stay casual, and be easy.